Hello and welcome to the captain's table, ladies and gentlemen. Darsh is trying to get me demonetized. This is what's happening.
Wow, well, the record. You started like 3 seconds ago. Look at that. Derailed. Nicely done, sir.
Welcome to the captain's table. My name is Paul Berserker01, Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astra Pub. Your space bar at the end of Twitch. So your space bar at the end of the universe. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We got a good one for you. Suck it, Milliways.
Listen, I don't add Milliways though.
Food is probably better, but I'm not bashing anyone upside the head with a gold brick, so that's the advantage. Welcome. This is the Captain's Table where we talk about Star Citizen. When I'm trying to talk, and then we get derailed by Darj and Naz constantly. But
You signed up for this.
I signed up for this, indeed. So we're going to be talking about Star Citizen. Today we're going to be talking about a pretty lengthy list. This is more about a little bit of the changes we're seeing with 319, but more about the changes overall between 319, 320, and what Star Citizen's going to look like towards the end of the year. Because there's a lot of stuff that, if you don't read the monthly reports, if you don't follow the development as closely as us three do, you probably have missed a lot of parts that are in there that they've talked about and stuff that they've think. So there's as always, CIG has this fire hose of information that just shoot at your face and say, I understand this. And it's so difficult to do. So hopefully we can untangle some of this stuff for you. But before we get to that,
so you're
go ahead.
saying CIG is just the aliens from the ethereal beings from Interstellar. Just like, we're trying to communicate, but you just can't understand.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to start off with Naz. Naz, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Pocket carrier. So hello everyone. I am Naz. I work at the NovaForge. That is NovaForge both on Twitch and YouTube. With more information coming later. I'm currently working on a thing. But yeah, you'll all be posted in the Discord things, which is linked in both of those places. I make Star Citizen content. Mostly, I have currently tutorials on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build a kind of a complete new guide tutorial series kind of thing. So you can, once you get an account, you basically can run through these tutorials in a line, and it will tell you like what station to get, or like pros and cons of each spawn location, how to get to your ship after that, and get first mission. Basically, the exact same thing the new player experience is trying to do, except for in video format. People learn differently sometimes, so that's one of the reasons I'm doing it. As far as like actually playing in the game, I've learned that the Herc is like the best pocket carrier that the game has, and it's great. I have fit so like currently, yesterday before my Pisces decided to not let me in, I had an Ursa, Steve, PTV, and a Pisces C8R, which gets me a med bed in my Herc. And when I feel like it, I can also put a Anvil chassis of whatever version I'd like in the back as well. So it is such a good thing. So now I have two Hercs. I have a bunker running Herc, which is my carrier, and then I have a cargo running Herc, which is just empty. And they're super good. I'm super psyched for bigger ships, especially the infinite modularity of a hull series.
Nice. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Darsh.
Yeah.
I was going to say Emperor of Pluto and Emperor of Pluto. No, Prince of Pluto.
of Uranus and Emperor of Pluto.
No. It's
the other way around.
Is it?
Oh wait,
alliteration. Emperor of Uranus and
Prince of Pluto. Yes, it's Prince of Pluto and Emperor of Uranus. That's how it is. That's how it is supposed to go.
Yeah,
I gotta get his titles right. For those of you who don't get that, every time he's come on, you have to understand that for the longest time, I kept screwing up Darj's actual where he lives, and so I just decided to just go crazy, and eventually
I'm the only one.
I just kept going nuts, and so he went from being from Transylvania to being from the Serengeti to being the denizen of the moon, and then eventually just said
we moved a lot.
Yeah. The Darjanator himself. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Hello, I am Darjanator, also known as Darj. I'm not a content creator. per se, but if you've created content, you've probably used some of my tools that I've created for the Star Citizen community, like the spreadsheet that tracks all the ISEs and ATVs like since the beginning.
I've actually used that. I actually used that for my video that I released on the Astro Historian recently, because I had to find the footage for the bangle, and I'm like, there's got to be more than just this. And so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, there it is. So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but other than that, I also work for GRDF. I do their graphic design, and recently I also started doing the 3D models for the 1 to 500 dioramas, and hopefully we'll get some of that out soon. Reviews are being done and stuff like that. So yeah.
I know somebody says this like every time, but like I had just a great idea just now.
Mm.
A modular building set for outposts.
You're not the first one who mentioned that, and we're thinking about that.
Okay. It's just like, what if we had base building before base building got in game?
Yeah. The main thing about moving away from ship kits is that it requires a new license agreement with CIG, because right now we only have an agreement for model kits of ships. So we have ideas and we have plans for other things, bigger things, smaller things, more complex things, simpler things, everything from the Star Citizen universe. But, it just requires a lot of talks with Toast.
Yeah.
So a 1-to-1 Bengal coming soon?
If JR
it's technically in the game. It's technically in the game. Sorry.
If JR is making a one of anything, it's going to be the Argo cargo.
Thank God.
Fair.
Or a Steve.
Best ship in the game.
You could probably.
They've already done a Dragonfly. They were
you could technically just take like an actual like working car chassis and turn it into a Steve, because the Steve isn't too far off from like a.
Well, because it actually has like a proper drivetrain and suspension, unlike the Cyclone, which is why we're not making one. And you could just grab a drivetrain from one of those ATVs, make your own like tubular chassis thing, and just build everything on top. Yeah, it would actually not be inconceivable.
So JRDF is getting into car sales. Got it. Confirmed. This is a promise. Put it on the promise board.
And it's jrdf.sc, right, to get that one?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
We are the licensed maker and seller of Star Citizen ships.
The reason no one's allowed to sell their prints.
Well, there are a couple other things, right? Can't he also make? Can't he make like a couple like other aspects of Star Citizen? Like I know there was the fridge at one point and the boxes you can get.
Right. Yeah. So the furniture, the half by half meter, like 1/8 SCU boxes, and well, he started with just making one of those. What is it called? Those from like 2.0 days, the closets where you would change from civilian clothes. Yeah, RSS or something, or RS or something like the yellow ones that are still, around the airlocks in certain locations. And he also has made a Covalex box, like a fully functional Covalex box with a screen that, and a solenoid door that opens up, and it's got like an RFID reader. If you put one of those small boxes in it, it will accept it and then close the door and smash your hands if you're not close.
I've seen it before. I've seen that one before, and he's in videos.
It was at CitizenCon. Yeah, it was at CitizenCon in Manchester.
I need to figure out a way to build the boxes you can buy in game.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
The empty boxes. I want to make one of those. I need one of those.
Yeah. They also made the desks and everything. Yeah, but those were actually just stuff other than the small boxes, stuff made for CIG to use at events instead of being able to just sell them. But you are correct. Yes, we were all. Grey-Headed Gamer got one as a fridge, and a couple of other people got one as a PC case. So yeah,
nice.
That's where I am currently. Yes, but happy actually.
Oh, and we have everyone be quiet. We have CIG in chat. Imaginary Jeremy is is watching. He's one of the writers for CIG, so he's here hanging out. So you have to be quiet. Shh. All the leaks. Stop it, chat. Stop it. Hey, Jeremy. So let's get started with the first topic that we're going to be talking today, which is 319. So as always, when I do these sorts of like reviews, I'm just going to go over the highlights, and then we'll go over each individual one. So starting with you, Darsh, highlights of 319, just things you've experienced that are good.
Game works.
That's a bonus. It's good. Better than 318.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is, but performance is through the roof compared to 317. No, I mean actually client-side performance, but
nice.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's a placebo effect. They mentioned in one of the messages of the day that they've actually found a bug that's been messing with NPC AI for the last 2 years that are actually going to fix that.
Ooh.
And we're in so much trouble. And then
we're all going to die. We're all going to die.
I'm in danger. And I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but then everywhere I looked, like the NPCs weren't standing on chairs, they weren't staring at walls. And then I see the next message of the day, and it's Waka saying, "Yeah, we're kind of postponing that fix for a bit, for a couple of patches. Maybe they still don't know whether it'll be 319, maybe in 320. So, but yeah, it's like the NPCs heard and they were scared, and they suddenly started working." Oh God, what's a good one? I would love to say that I love the salvage, but I don't have a salvage ship.
I will jump in and say I think that's one of the biggest mistakes the CIG has, is that like when they have things like mining and testing and salvage changes, they should just give everyone in PTU mining and salvage ships so that they can test out the actual things they want them to test. Kind of,
Yeah, like in Evocati,
Gosh dang it.
I heard about that. Yeah. That's important. That's actually critical information that I think a lot of people don't really need to know, because that's vital to your understanding of 319. So just keep that in mind, chat. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
I'm gonna reset your camera because I think that camera's link is just broken because it's completely desynced.
No, I just froze. I actually just froze. I was doing this. No, but it's God. If I had to pick one thing, I would say being able to remove components from some of dead ships, or live ships once they're unlocked. But there was a thing that someone in Discord mentioned recently, like just like 2 hours ago. A lot of components on the interiors of ships, like the big ones, are too big to fit through doors.
Which is a problem we knew was coming.
Which is a problem, yeah. So it's like, how are we gonna do that? Do these components come like disassembled? Are they IKEA? Like, do you have to just bring them in on a trolley and then assemble them and stick them in? That's gonna make salvage a bit difficult.
I think, well, we have two options, I think. One, it's gonna require another one of those updates where they have to change the geometry of the ship. Or two, this is what cutting V2 is going to give us, cutting holes in ships to fit the components out.
How are you supposed to upgrade your ship? It's like a modern cars, like everything's an engine out job, or like you have to remove half the front of the car if you want to change the light bulbs.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting the power plants out of a Herc.
No.
It's like, how do you? There's an elevator here, but like it won't go in.
Maybe that's the reasoning behind all the panels on the outside. Like you have access from the inside, so you can fix it. But if you want to replace it, like half of the ship unfolds.
Oh man, like I know, like
from the outside.
Oh man,
that is how most fighters function. Like they have those panels on the outside.
Yeah, but like those are thought through. Those are built into, like, especially Gladius. Like all the panels move now. The Herc doesn't have that.
It's weird. The weird thing about the Herc and say like the Carrack is the Herc and the Carrack were built with this in mind. Like they knew that they were going to have to put in, but they didn't think about pulling out the components. Like it won't fit through the door, y'all. What did?
I have a feeling that a lot of the ship team is gonna get severe PTSD from the words gold standard.
Yeah.
I also mentioned like we're due for like a large in-game ship overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
Like they keep like, oh, we're doing the freelancer this quarter, and we like get one ship a quarter.
Everybody keeps saying, "Hold on, shush!" Everybody keeps saying the freelancer's getting reworked. Has CIG said that
Yes.
the freelancer's getting reworked?
Yes.
When?
Update.
Where?
It is
Point.
they have very small update. It is not a major update. It is getting a rework. It's in the monthly report. They're
The
changing
gold
it.
standard for components, but not like the
Yes.
updates that everybody wants. Which
No,
is
it's not everything that
basically-
it wants. But I can almost guarantee you that in the process of doing.
Sorry, Eris from Relay.
But the interior, when they do that rework, I can almost guarantee you that they'll take a look at what they need to actually do to update the gold standard of it.
Yeah.
Because
It'll
you
be
can't.
Freelancers should be like 2-person ships, not 4.
Yeah, it should be 2. We'll likely
I hear that
see
a lot,
an
but, like,
overhaul.
I got no problem with it.
We'll likely see an
do-
overhaul of the back end cargo area because that's where most of the components are. So,
Well, at least the freelancer has like access, room to move those components out because it has like a big fuck off every 10 minutes. And can I swear?
You already said penis in the first 2 seconds of the.
That's not a swear. That is a medical term.
Medical term. I'm pretty sure it's an anatomy term, but you do you.
Yeah. Sure. Anyway,
all right.
Anyway, like the freelancer is a big door at the back. You could just get stuff out. But like the Carrack, like has very tiny doors leading
Very
into
tiny.
the engineering. Yeah. So they will have to do some work on the Carrack, if nothing else, for the drones. Because right now there's no access to the drone bay from the outside. It's like they go in the wall, and then what?
Yeah,
All right.
I think they built
Naz.
this knowing they'd have to. Yes.
Your
Stuff
thoughts
for
on
319.
319, just in general. You're just overall feelings.
I've got very little because like I'm trying to fight off the like 18.5 vibes that I continuously have. It's really hard. Like,
But that's what it is. The only reason why they're calling it 319 is because it's the new quarter.
Naz volume is really low again. I'm sorry.
I'll turn them up. You're good.
It feels more like they just need it to be out to get back on schedule after the 318 debacle, and Invictus is coming out, so they have a very small window to like shove everything in. I'm really glad it's a thing. I have played maybe an hour of it because unlike apparently 90% of the player base, if you listen to all the reading on the internet, I've been playing 318 with a good amount of friends and having a great time. Like, sure, there are bugs. It's Star Citizen. I lived through 3.0. I was there when the Sacred Scrolls were written.
I was there, Paul, 3,000 years ago.
Yeah,
I was there when the deep magic was first carved. Yeah, I get it.
I was there for the shaving of the beard.
Yeah.
yes. So me and some friends have been like just having the time with 318, and I've just been playing the game. And apparently, I do something weird when I play the game. I play the game. I don't like, oh no, don't do this because it's an alpha that might break. I just like I said earlier, I just throw all my ships in a herc and expect it to just work.
And it did.
It just works.
I've
just
had
works.
when I tried to the Pisces spontaneously combust currently. So if you fly Pisces, be warned. If you take any damage to land, you might explode.
Haven't had that in 319 though. Have you tried playing 319?
Like I said, I only played an hour so far because I've been busy. I've been busy playing the actual game. And if it hits any physics object, it likes to aim for the nearest
Death.
moon and just run for it. Like there was a tire because my Ursa exploded in my Herc, and I was trying to inch the Pisces forward. It bumped the tire and just plowed into the side of the Herc. That was fun. And you can't get broken ship pieces off the Herc, so I need to claim it and move everything to the new Herc, and then my arrow exploded, so I now need to do it again. And just like, I can't wait for bigger tractor beams to get junk off.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So 319.
We're going to talk about that in the future, because that's something we have to talk about. So
319. I haven't been to Loreville. I've seen the new player experience. Looks jank. Haven't played Salvage. Ghost Hollow's good place. Good for missions.
But not just bigger tractor beams, like it's Grey Cat, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They also have the new mining tool, because I was just watching the latest Ollie video, and he finally found some Genolite. Is that the new one?
Yeah, it's a new one.
Genolite, yeah. And it took him like 5 minutes of handheld mining tool to get it to blow. So you need bigger.
More bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think probably the biggest thing I'm excited for, and this is going to be the dumbest thing to be excited for. I'm glad for the links being worked on, because just like they did with the C8R, they'll retroactively polish the original Ursa. So the original Ursa should get its door buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
They added. Did they have buttons on the original Pisces?
Nope.
The door buttons.
Nope.
Because they added.
When I got.
They added buttons in 319.
Yeah, when they added the C8R, I pulled out a normal Pisces and I went up to the door. Why isn't it? Oh, the button's on here now.
Right. Yeah. And in that very first patch, if you put a custom skin on it, the button would disappear.
Oh.
Nice.
Not the actual surround of the button, that was still there, but the
actual
panel
button
that you actually click
was gone.
That was gone. So you couldn't. So if you wanted, that patch was plebeian stock skin Pisces for all of them.
Yes. All right. So let's look
after I paid good money for the shiny blue one. So I had the shiny blue one, and I just looked at it because it was pretty and shiny.
All right, so I'll start with this next part for you, with you, Naz. Loreville Cityscape. You probably obviously haven't seen it in game. What are your thoughts just on the Cityscape for 319?
Good.
That's
like
it?
It's good art, but it's all it is like a really good candy wrapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It looks great. Looks fabulous. Like you can fly now in and around the buildings, and that's gonna be good. But like, there's no reason to right now until like racing orgs move in and make racetracks. But like, not super into that kind of scene. But like, it's a good backdrop. But the real upgrade is gonna be when they start redoing and do whatever new philosophy they're gonna be using for the on the ground landing zones. So when we have all these city streets, and the team did mention something about piloting vehicles on streets in this last video, they talked about it. Not that, like, these were art people that did the rework, not like anyone who has authority over actually making gameplay.
Yeah. So there's possibility for them. There are facilities for actual gameplay people to go in and create that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love that, because I would love and I guess Tony Zervik isn't really on this now, but way back when, like 2016 or something.
He talked about roads.
There was specifically, I think, like one of his first solo videos he did, he mentioned how in his philosophy for gameplay, there wasn't going to be, 2 shops in a single landing zone that would sell the same thing. So no variety in the landing zone. Because, in his words, players don't want to shop around. And that is, like, the only point the only point so far that I've ever had indifference with Mr. Tony Zorovic. Because, like, I would love to just have to go to every shop to find the best price on this piece of clothing or whatever. Or furniture or whatever. I would love sprawling city.
Mr. Tony, we're poor. We want to shop around.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't mind that, but I hate the artificial, what they do currently, where they have the artificial like you have to get purple. You have to go to like 4 different places to get purple.
No.
That's dumb. Like I don't want that.
Yeah,
I want
Every Kasaba should have everything. Well, all the color. If they have a certain item, they should have it in every color. But if you want to have like a more elegant piece of clothing, you go to Apparelli. Sure.
Yeah.
And if you want something more like completely grunge, you go to Grimhex. I get that. But like if you want to have the grunge t-shirt with the gray skull, you have to go to that shop over there. But if you want the grungy t-shirt with the blue skull, you go to that shop over there. No, that's bullshit. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We're also missing, just like we're getting the new underground facilities in small, medium, and large, and whatever. They also did the same thing.
Keep going. I'll
with
be
the
right back.
shops. All right. They also did the same thing with the shops that they did with the original bunkers. We're gonna throw this in. We'll upgrade it and add on later, and they didn't because it was too old by the point they started to add on. So we're stuck with these hole-in-the-wall shops. If you look back at the original concept art, these are much bigger shops that we're supposed to be having. So it's not just a single room that's like, you know, a 10 by 10 area. We're supposed to have a much bigger, especially for like Kasabas. They're outlet stores.
Yeah.
Like the huge like warehouse, not warehouse, but like warehouse style kind of like everything's just there.
Yeah.
And I really like if they would get more space specifically so they can display more things. I don't like that Pirelli doesn't have a screen, but
where's home delivery?
Yes, we need Space Amazon. We need Space Amazon. Like Kovalex and FTL are like UPS and FedEx. So we like there has got to be some stores that do. I'm pretty sure they've actually had some lore, and I forget where it is about getting stuff delivered.
And wouldn't even have to be like very elaborate. Just have it say, "Look, bring it to me in my inventory on the space station," and then it will show up in your inventory, and you fire up the cargo elevator, and it
Heck,
or,
put
or
timers
the personal
on it.
elevator. Yeah,
Put timers on it. Like it'd be great. Like or make it gameplay. I mean, this is more quantum like. Generate a box mission to go to a landing zone, pick up a box, make me the delivery guy for someone else's t-shirt.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're way off the topic of Loreville Cityscape changes, so I'm gonna move on to Darsh. Darsh, thoughts on Loreville Cityscape?
Ooh, love it, especially once. Two things about it. It's bigger than it was before. So, being the dumbass that I am, I took up a box mission from Edmund, and I decided I'm just gonna grab my Steve. I forgot that has no brakes, so that was an adventure in its own. And I'm gonna go from one of the gates to Edmund and pick up the box, because Steve has like very nice cargo space in the back for 2 boxes. So I went to gate 4, just on the other side of town from Edmund, so I had to drive around.
Oh no!
2 hours.
To the outpost or to the
Nope.
just around
until the game crashed, and I was still around Loreville.
Oh my gosh!
It's big.
So roads there.
Yes. But also that was like a couple of patches ago, and it was a bit janky. There's a lot of geometry that doesn't touch the ground or has collision. So I'm gonna have to go through that and fix it up a bit. So that was Loreville from the ground, but from the air, it's amazing what you can see. Like it's a huge sprawling city. And the second thing that I love about it is all the buildings are bigger than themselves, and they're made with procedural interiors in mind, so you can land on them and get inside and stuff like that. Yes. Awesome. And they have the windows. The fancy windows.
The new windows. Yeah, the ones that are like simulated interiors where you can like see the inside, even though it's literally just a PNG.
That made it, but like the Spider-Man windows.
Yeah.
I don't know how they like put out their one like GC video. Like this is how we did Windows, and like it's a very old technology to do it. And the second they put out the Windows, it became like their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Apple effect at this point, I think. It's like the technology has been around for ages, but then they do it.
Yeah.
And it's revolutionary and magical.
All right, let's go on to the next one. The next one, which
okay.
is new player experience. Darsh.
Yeah. Okay.
I will talk about mine, but I'll let you go first.
Right. Okay. I will let you have your rant, so I will be positive about it. I will be positive about it, and I will kind of be negative about it because there is one thing that prevented me from enjoying it the very first time I started it, which was that both my hints and ship entry markers were disabled, and they weren't auto-enabled when I hit play tutorial, which is something they need to fix. Because you need those if you want to have the proper tutorial experience. The hint system that used to pop up like below at the very bottom of the screen and that everybody ignored, including me, is now changed to be in a window above the control hints. So on this side. No, this side.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Right there.
And yeah. And when you're just playing normally, it will play those hints like it used to before, kind of contextual depending on where you are. But when you run the tutorial, it will actually hook into the tutorial mission and display the very specific reasons why you're doing what you're doing. Instead of having to go into the journal and read it, it will be there on screen. So that is the context that I was missing. Like, okay, just eat the burrito. Sure, why? That tells you because you need food and drink to survive. And then go to Cubby Blast, interact with the
screen.
With the screen. Why? Well, the screen tells you because it doesn't tell you to buy the helmet, but it does tell you
you
if you want to survive in the vacuum space, you need an undersuit and a helmet.
Yeah.
So go to the store that has undersuits and helmets and buy something. So it doesn't directly tell you to buy a helmet, but it kind of expects you to, kind of put 2 and 2 together and maybe not come up with part 5. It is a competent tutorial and I like that they handhold you through getting out of a city.
It's hand holding. I'm like it is. There's no lie about it. It is hand holding. It is follow me, but you kind of need it. So
well, the Star Citizen learning curve is a cliff. So
yes, yeah.
I do like it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll let you have your rant.
All right. It's not that much of a rant. I will say, and I think a lot of people thought I was super salty about this. I'm not salty about it at all. It's more of I was expecting one thing and got another, and so I'm like, oh, this is fine for what it is, but this isn't what they said it was going to be. Because one of the big things about context is why are you doing things? And while the hint system does say, hey, you should do these things because this, it's more like, the way I like to describe it is it's like a programmer made it. Because it's almost like a programming logic. If then do this, then do this, do this. It's just like a series of commands that you do these things, which makes sense if I'm a player doing a tutorial and I need to know what to do. This is just like, this is what you do. Here are these things you do, which is fine in terms of that step process. But if they're trying to give you the context of the universe you're in, throwing a wall of text at you in the journal doesn't give you any context when gamers already don't read. So it's like, it just doesn't work.
I would say they want to do it in a much more diegetic and believable and immersive way, but Invictus is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I would have no problem if they're like, hey, this is the first edition that we're just going to do the basic, like, mechanical tutorial and we'll add more context later. I've been like, that's fine, I get it. But they said they wanted to add context to the universe. I'm like, this is nothing. This is worthless. Like, thank you. This is worthless for that. But it's not bad. It's in my opinion on it is that it's probably the best tutorial mechanically that we've ever had. Just like hands down. Because while I think the tutorial missions did a good job with like adding more like immersion and stuff like that with Gilly. Everyone loves Gilly and all that sort of things. This seems like a tutorial that won't break in 320.
Yeah.
Whereas like
and it's easy to update.
Yeah.
Because it's just text. It's not
text.
recorded lines. It's not animations that Steve Bender lovingly put together. So it kind of makes sense, but like I can still see for the final game, I can see someone like Gilly coming back. Although Gilly's probably a Squadron 42 thing.
Probably. I still, I'm sure they'll do something interesting with that sort of context clues. But if you're going into the new player experience to figure like, well, where am I? What year is it? What's going on? Like, you're going to get thrown a wall of text at you. It's like it's a step removed from being it on the website, but it's pretty lazy if you're trying to add context.
You wanted lore in game.
Yeah, you got your lore in game. Here's your lore. Throws coupon book at your face. Enjoy it, you know.
But it's looking very confused.
Yeah, because it's like, look at the area map. What area map?
Oh, there is an area.
There is an area map.
Like,
and it's
in front of you. In front of you.
In front of me. I'm in the hallway. There's nothing here.
Go out of the hallway.
Okay, but that doesn't say that. It says go to the ground floor, view the map.
Yeah, and there's a map in the front.
Yeah,
in front of the hall.
There's a dead person. Okay.
He's doing the blue player experience right now.
Yeah.
So let's.
I got a fancy shirt.
There's a map now, which is really nice.
Yeah. And there's a lot of signage.
Yes.
Nobody mentioned this, that the new player experience is not just the little text that comes up on the screen. It's signage. It is the mission. What else is there?
The hints.
But the signage is good.
The signage is great.
Yeah.
You don't need
maybe
it's
maybe
not even in
too overbearing, I would say.
Oh yeah, it's baby's first it's you know how like restaurants put like a lot of restaurants, especially chain restaurants, put like really detailed pictures of all of the meals they make in the menus, because they know that they're going to get people who don't speak the language or may not be able to read, so they just point at the pictures. I want that one. That's basically what it is. It's that simple. Blown up.
But that can be done nicely. I recently on the internet saw. I went on the internet. I found this. I saw a menu for a pizza place, and it was half a circle, like a book in the shape of a half a circle, and you open it up into a circle, and it was just a picture of the pizza, and you change the page, and it was the picture of the next pizza. That can be done really well and tastefully. But the way the signage in ArcCorp is right now is like, they're big signs, but they are very, very like square block into round hole type style of signage.
I think I now know, because of those signs, why they chose ArcCorp to do it. Which is, everything here is gonna need a rework. So like, get your 0.5 tutorial in and see where it needs to improve. See, like, the groundwork is good. We're back to that. We're gonna put something that we know is incomplete in, so that we can get that mass feedback. So
With
that
the
we
new
can...
visor and HUD, I believe that we're gonna get a lot better AR elements for the tutorial, like actual 3D arrows pointing you,
and the map update
a corridor.
We do know that there is like last monthly report talked about how they made a breakthrough with how the map works. So like, for those of you who don't know, there's a mini map that's coming, and it's going to be for specific ships, and I think some landing zones you'll have access to it. But it's like an actual 3D render of the interior of the ship or the location, so you'll see yourself in real time where it is and stuff like that.
I love that so much. They showed off a concept at Citizen but it is they're not creating new assets. It's just taking the ship model, and throwing a bunch of shaders on it.
To make it easier.
Removing the walls, the ceilings, the exterior, and then, this is the floors, this is this room, this is the door, and...
More consoles in Cubby Blast.
Yeah, they've added more consoles too there, which is nice. Naz, I know you haven't finished it yet.
Is the Vandal head still there?
Yes, it is. Yes. Naz, I know you're not finished it yet, but what's your thoughts so far on the new player experience?
I assume there is in the actual menu, text
Turn
on
hidden.
what the tutorial
You have-
actually
you
is
do-
wanting. Yeah. So yeah, it does pull up a
Show
couple
show
paragraphs.
hints. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Well,
put up
there's
show
hints, but
hints.
if you open your mobile glass and go to accepted missions, it tells you a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I feel like could be a paragraph when you're playing the tutorial on the side of the screen. That context, because you're specifically playing the tutorial to learn about the game, so you don't have to open your mobile glass to go to the information about the quest that you're supposed to be tutorializing.
But that is part of the visor and HUD and radar system and Mobiglass rework that's
right.
coming in.
Like I said,
I think like
everything
June now.
in is in a state just to basically get it in, get mass feedback.
Mhm.
But it actually, it's good.
Mhm.
It's like everything looks very programmer art like, very programmer art like.
Mm.
The map is good. I like the map.
Mhm.
I think the map is
one
the
of the maps is wrong.
artist touched. Nice. The icons. I
The
feel like
massive
need to rework.
icons. The massive icons. Yeah.
Sure, they're massive, but they
That's a
look
that's
so.
a space shuttle. But you pulled that a clip art off of a space shuttle off the internet and threw that on there. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, they
the
look
spaceport.
lacking character is not the term like I would say, because they do have a certain character, but it's not. It definitely does feel like Star Citizen. These icons, and they're missing like that kind of like Star Citizen. I worked for like 6 months to get the perfect icons feel that the rest of the game has.
Yeah.
But
let's try wingdings. Let's see if there's any good symbols in there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
one of the reasons why the signs are probably that big is just because vision in a video game is a lot different from vision in real life, because like human vision is very, very good at discerning details at the very center of your vision. So but a computer screen displays everything in your field of view at the same level of detail. So they need to, for a sign that's far away, they need to make a bigger one so you know exactly what you're looking at.
Okay.
Because we don't have like 5-point perspective in video games and shit like that.
We are literally at an hour in and we haven't even gotten to the next part. So I'm just going to go through the rapid fire. Because personally, have you done the salvage missions yet, Darsh?
In Evocati.
oh my god.
So the answer is yes, but he can't talk about it. Naz, have you done the salvage missions?
In PTU, I don't have a salvage.
Nope.
Shit,
They should have.
I haven't done it either.
We got the not the prospector, the what's the Drake one? The
Vulture.
Vulture. We got the Vulture in 318. Why isn't it rentable in 319?
Because it's not coming into the game till 320. But they should have at least given it to. That would be my feat. That's how they work. It works on every other patch. You know that. It's stupid, but.
Yeah, but 319 should be rentable at least, so I can go out and do the salvage missions, because I like salvaging.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Astra Armada is listed as ship rentals.
Astra Armada, yeah.
Yeah, ship rentals are at the spaceport.
But yeah, you can. Well, can you rent from Astra Armada?
No.
Okay,
it's only buying. Yeah, the rentals are at the is the Pathfinder thing or whatever it's called at the spaceport.
Yeah.
The only salvage I've done is handheld, and there's a lot. So there's a lot of multi-tools with salvage attachments in loot boxes around. If you do like 3 box delivery missions, you'll get like 10 if you take all of them. So I've done only the first person salvage, because for some reason my Pisces keeps being banged up as soon as I take off. So I actually spent like 2-3 hours finding one of those multi-tools and then finding one of the wrecks and then stripping it. It was very cathartic, I would say. And now I have a Pisces that is a lot less blue than it should be.
And Naz, you haven't had a chance to?
Nope.
do the originals? Okay, I haven't either. I like the
He's barely
concepts.
done the tutorial.
Me or Naz? Yeah,
No,
Naz.
No,
him,
me.
yeah, he's been-
Yeah. No, I have done it. I've heard people say it's good, but it still had some bug issues. So let's move on to the Ghost Hollow PvP. I haven't done that yet, but I have heard good things. So, yeah. So
I
these
haven't
are
heard anything about it.
they've been improving it. It's effectively like the Korea mission, but instead of having to pull out like illicit substances to go sell, you just get UEC, but it like spits it out at certain intervals and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I don't like that it said Ghost Hollow because that is the least optimized part of the game right now. It's runs the shittiest.
Yeah, but it's a site that they had. They could have done it in Daymar, I think, but the Ghost Hollow makes sense.
The issue is that the location where it is stormy a lot, and the dust storms just tanks FPS. So.
Yeah,
and PvP with low FPS is well, the game with low FPS is just.
Then the tractor beam attach detach. Naz, have you used that?
Nope.
Darsh?
No, but imagine that if it just works like the way it's supposed to, it does.
It just works. Yes, it just works. It's great.
And you put a gun into your cargo hold and you take it to a spaceport, and can you sell it?
Yes. Apparently there was a bug early on where it wasn't registering them as part of your cargo grid, but now it works where you can pull your gun off and you can put it in your ship and then you can go sell it like it would be a cargo bit.
There is a bug that I discovered like half an hour before I came here with selling stuff. Mm-hmm. I had stuff in my Pisces that I wanted to sell in the inventory, and sure, it was showing up, but then I put in a single letter into the
search bar,
the filter, and all of a sudden it showed up everything that was in my cupboards on everywhere on the ship, it just scattered.
Yeah,
and it let me sell that as well.
Huh. Interesting.
So if that letter was part of the item, so yeah.
One thing
but if you clear the search, it doesn't show it.
I will say that the thing about the tractor beam is that it's much more easy to use. It's much more logical. You know how before you had to hold the button down to keep it tractor beamed? You just click it once and it holds now. So like how you just click it again.
And you switch modes between detach and traversal. So that's nice. And I love the sound. It's so much nicer now.
Yeah.
Like the deep bass.
A lot of new ads.
Instead of going that.
There's a lot of new ads.
And I feel like the small multi-tool shouldn't be able to do that. And I also think they mentioned that.
They've mentioned that. It's not supposed to, but
But we don't have the big one yet. So
we'll have it later. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, and the last one on the list there is the links. We're not going to really talk about we'll talk a little bit about this because there are two other major changes: the mining update and the timers. Now, we're not going to talk a lot about the mining update because I don't think other than Darsh probably we haven't really dived into the mining side of things, and Naz is just literally starting to play 319 right now. So. So Darsh, what are your thoughts on the mining changes? Have you managed to play any of that stuff? So,
just a little. The problem is I didn't play a lot of mining before, so it is not a lot of muscle memory in terms of that. Other than handheld mining, which hasn't changed, other than the new mineral that that has like very low chance of spawning in the sand caves. I like, in theory, the changes that they're making the sizes of the mining heads better because, like a single, like a prospector versus just a mole with a single laser were pretty much same-ish in terms of performance before, but now they're making a difference. And I don't know, have they made the change where a single mole with 3 people in it is a lot more effective than 3 prospectors. Is that in yet?
Sort of, yeah. It's part of this update where each mining head has its own unique usage. So each mining head has a distinct advantage. So if you're using multiple mining heads, it'll improve stability. It'll make it easier to crack. There's a lot of more nuance to it now.
Yeah.
Versus just this head is always good.
Yeah, no, but I mean the actual thing where the 3 mining heads in a mole are all sharing the same computer. So it's so if you have the same 3 mining heads on 3 prospectors, it will be actually detrimental because they keep fighting each other. But a mole can work all 3 in sync.
I think that's part of this, though. I couldn't tell you right now on that one. All I know is that each mining head is different. So
yeah, I'm excited for that update. And just a refresh of the UI, because like that is one of the only UIs we have that is in building blocks, and they can just update it without having to go through Flash.
Well, that and
again.
refueling.
Yeah, well, yeah, but refueling is just got that added, and there's not really a lot of changes to. Well, yeah, I say just got added. It got added in 3.17, which was this time last year. But to be fair, that was only a patch ago. Naz, that was only a patch ago.
Oh, I hope they fixed the refueling of the 890, because we had a lot of problems with that during the MR rally.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know what happens is you park up the 890 to the back of the Starfarer, you dock, and then the Starfarer does this behind you and turns 180 degrees, and you're no longer docked. Ooh. And yeah, so we actually had to go to Grimhex and land, and
yeah. All right. I am gonna kind of just refer to someone in chat said Mike did a big thing on Answer the Call, so you can go check that out. And I think Troncy did a great video on the mining changes, so go check out Troncy's stuff. He does more mining than I do, so that's a fundamental overhaul. But the short list of it, which I think is good, is there's no longer just the one meta. It is now much more nuanced. The mining heads matter. Each mining head has its different advantages. And so it's not just use this and don't use anything else. So there's more.
I want to go mining, but I would like to go in a mole, so we need 3 other people. Just like with Salvage, I want to go in a reclaimer, so you have people working in tandem doing the entire process of a lot more efficient than just a vulture.
Yeah.
Multi-crew. It's a thing.
So they lock out your MobiGlass apps for this tutorial.
Yes.
I cannot go to the comm link and call the ATC before getting my ship.
You have to use the hot button, which is Alt N, if you haven't changed it.
Can you use the MFD?
I'm working on it.
We probably could.
What does it say?
Yeah. What?
The hint says
Alt prepare
N.
for takeoff. It doesn't say anything about. Oh, there it is. It's on the tooltip.
Yeah, it's on tooltip.
Okay.
So, Paul, while we talk about Star Citizen and Azra just plays it like little pleb that he is, what else do you want to talk about?
The last thing we're going to talk about before we get to 320, and then let Naz go on for another 20 minutes about the whole C, is the changes to insurance. Now, as I kind of mentioned this before, before the video started, before the recording started, there is some major changes. Now, not huge, but they're definitely longer. For instance, I believe that the Titan had like a minute or like maybe 2 minute reclaim timer in 318, and 319 is now 5 to 6 minutes. And the Hammerhead was at 45 minutes in 318. In 319, it's 55 minutes. So it's not a huge change, but it's an additional 10 minutes. So, and I think it goes up the larger the ship. So the larger the ships, the longer the timer. So ships like the Carrack, I think at one point had an hour and 30-minute timer to the Carrack. So all ships got an increase, but some of them specifically got an increase. Now there's
always going to be rebalances in that, but I like that they need to add a way of people just not soft deathing their ships, and trying to fudge selling all the components and stuff.
Naz, what is your thought on that?
I forget what I said about that. Like, me and Tree were talking about that, like how to stop internet insurance fraud. I definitely like stuff getting longer. Even though, like,
That's what she
sorry, all people like that have lives and don't play MMOs to like,
Yeah,
as a day
Well,
job.
that's why there's still expedite.
there's still
Yeah,
expedite.
but,
Expedite doesn't
like-
go away. It's now more expensive too. Like the
Right.
price has gone way up for the expediting as well.
They should definitely have a slider to how much you want to pay for how much time off.
Okay.
So, like, you could get your 890 instantly because it is a game, and just pay 10%, 50% of the whole of the ship, right? So that way, people who they have an hour to sit down and they forgot to claim their 890 before they logged off, and they just want to relax after working in whatever job. Like, they should have a little slider so they can pay what they want to expedite however they want. But again, that leaves exploitation of selling stuff.
Mhm.
So, like, I don't know. Maybe change the model of insurance to just cover the hull, and when you destroy your ship the first time, the guns aren't included in your base insurance, so you claim it back with base insurance without the guns on it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if the EU would have a problem with that.
So
I think
Yeah.
the insurance is supposed to be base model only, so all the upgrades that you put on it,
right,
are not
upgrades
coming
don't
back.
come, but like you said, like the exploiting the pull out ship, crash ship, whip all the goodies off of it, claim ship, go crash ship, rip all the goodies off of it, rinse and repeat. Basically, what you can do with a beacon suit. And the flip side to that is make the guns that come stock dirt cheap, so people don't want to do that.
mhm.
Mm.
Now,
So it's
yeah, I get
balance.
your point.
I'm not a system designer. I don't know.
My thoughts on it is it has to do with consequences. The whole concept of Star Citizen is actions have consequences, and time is a consequence, and it sucks. I know it's gonna happen. People are gonna have a feels bad where something goes wrong, and now your ship that you like is 2 hours away, and it's 4 million credits to get it to expedite, and you're just like, F this, I'm done. I'm not playing this game, and it's like, I get it, but that's gonna happen at some point. It doesn't matter what Star Citizen's status is. That's going to come. You can run from it, scream about it. It will catch you, and you will have to deal with it.
What year
in the
do you
future.
think is going to be the year of fucking around and finding out?
Soon. We're coming to the end of the pillars. Like,
Yeah, I would say 2 years from now, 2020.
Yeah.
2955?
What's this year? This year's 23, 24, 25. Yeah,
Yeah.
25.
Yeah. So like that's the issue is like this is going to happen at some point, and CIG's already tried to do this once, and people like lost their shit about it, and so they reverted it. This is almost exactly the same changes they'd already made. This is just they had delayed it, and I think
we have so many more systems in place to justify it.
I think CIG is now at a point where they're like, oh crap, we have to finish no, screw you players, we need to finish the game. Shut up, sit down, let's finish the game.
They're kind
and
of
they're gonna put in the things that they need to get in. Longer insurance time, the mining balances, all the crappy things we need, like PES needs to get in. Yes, it screwed up the entire game and they needed to wipe the servers twice in a row. They need to get this stuff done. Server meshing is going to come with a whole host of new problems. We're going to have to wipe 15 more times when that comes in. Just because they need to get this crap in and done with so they can get on to actually finishing the game and launching a product.
Yeah. And it's important to note that like there are going to always to be things in Star Citizen which will be unpopular. That's just going to happen. And insurance and time wasters and time sinks will always, and money sinks will always be unpopular additions to Star Citizen. because of the nature of how Star Citizen was developed and how it's funded. People don't want to pay $1,000 for a ship and then be told, by the way, that ship's not coming back for 2 days. They're like, well, that's not fun. I paid $1,000 for this ship. I expect $1,000 worth of investment on it, even though that's not really
It's
what's supposed
hilarious.
to
Like,
happen.
I paid $1,000 for this ship, and now I can't use it. Well, you paid $1,000. You should have known what you were getting into.
But
Do
the
you
point,
think?
the point being
Do you
is
think
that,
that, like, in the end, like
Go ahead.
the actual insurance is going to be the ship that you're expediting is actually going to get, let's say it'll be in a lot at the RSI factory, and someone is going to have to take an SRV, grab the Aurora, put it on a Hull C, and then someone will have to fly the Hull C from that system to where you are and deliver it. Is that like the
Yeah.
timer that's going to be?
I think that's what it's going
But
to be.
that could take hours. Like,
Yeah.
even if it happens immediately, expedite is going to take hours.
Yeah, but
I
that's
imagine expedite would be basically there's a higher wage for someone to like pull it off of a closer lot. Like Astra has one in their back lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you can't have that one because it's like sold, but if you expedite your thing, they're gonna have to wait a minute for the sold one, and or they'll just it's a game,
Yeah.
duplicate it.
And that's what I was going to say, is that, like, there are going to be factors that are going to change. It's not going to always be these numbers. These numbers are based off of the costs and the other things they're running. And there's people in chat.
The end, they're also
the-
going to have to gamify it. It's
Yes.
not going to.
Yes.
Actual real time delivery times could take weeks.
Yeah, so they can't really do that. They're going to have to find a way of meeting in the middle somewhere for these sorts of things. And there's at least a couple of people in chat who are talking about how this isn't fun. And I will
Which
address
is why
that.
repair needs to be a lot more powerful. If you get
Yes.
soft death, you need to be able to tow your ship to a repair shop and have them actually bring it back to life instead of having to wait for a new ship to be built by the manufacturer and my camera to unfreeze and then have it delivered.
I mean, like that gets into the 320 question. So
Yes, we'll get to that. But that's the point. The point is that a lot of this is also based off of features that will be coming in Star Citizen in the near future and in the not so near future that CIG is going to have to implement anyways. And the reason why they have timers is balance issues, because there's no reason if you screw up in a combat situation and your base ass fighter, your really, really good meta ship is now going to take you like an hour to get back. Well, you should have gotten good and not died. Like that's the point of that feature. That you died in.
That's going to happen.
Well, that's
oh, by the way, this is the update where you have a amount of lives.
Yeah, well, and then that's the thing. It's like that's the other problem. Now, again, 100%, I get why people are mad, because it's the Star Citizen still a buggy experience. There's still other problems, and people don't want to get a feels bad where a bug or a 30K kills them, and now it's going to take them, an hour to get back a ship that they, and they just wasted a bunch of time and money because of a bug. But at the same time, this was always going to happen, and it is going to happen in the future. So I understand, and I personally like having those sorts of consequences, like as Darsh so eloquently said, the fuck around and find out patch. Like, you screw up too much, you can get good, son. That's the response to that. And you're always going to have that, because those are balance issues. It's not necessarily a fun thing. It's, if you want to have that sort of fun, there are like plenty of games that do those sorts of things, of instant, like Fortnite or Call of Duty and those other games. But I'm not shitting on those games. I'm just saying, like, that game is going for your dopamine hit, and Star Citizen was never going for that in the first place.
And if you want to stay in space, No Man's Sky, Everspace, those games have instant respawn timers. Well, not timers, but you hit the button and you're back. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean,
space games are an amazing genre where every game seems to be the killer of every other game by like announcements, but like all of them are completely different and able to stand next to each other. And that's, I think, really, really nice, especially when they like brought that kind of notice to the forefront when they did the Eve team up with the Lego stuff. I think that was that really made me look at like, hey, none of these space games need to be like down each other's throats, because No Man's Sky's Space Engineers, Spaceborne, Starfield, Eve, Elite, none of these games are each other.
No.
None of these games are trying to be each other. None of these games are
And
trying
guess
to outlast
what, guys?
each other.
You can like more than one thing at a time.
Psh, no, you can't. You must fanboy for one thing at a time, and that must be your only Lord and Savior. And if anyone dares look at it sideways, you must crucify them.
All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to 320 because I think that's probably the most controversial addition to 319, and I think that's something when I say massive changes going forward, I don't think this is going away. If it's probably the biggest candidate to being rolled back, but it's coming back. Like even if CIG decides, oh, mea culpa, I'm stopping this, it's going to happen again. All right. So
I don't mind because in 319 I haven't crashed once yet. I got good.
Yeah, you got good. There we go. All right. So then we've got 3 additions were added to this. This was a big week in terms of news. 3 new additions were added to 320 because 320 was announced with the first 3. It's important to note before we get into these details, 320 is likely 5 months away from release because traditionally, and this is for the new folks who haven't been around much, traditionally the 3rd quarter patch is almost always done after CitizenCon. So it's usually the end of October. So with 318 releasing sometime in the next couple of weeks, that means we won't have from the middle of May till the end of October for the next patch. That doesn't mean we won't get like a 319.1 or something like that, but 320, which is the next patch, is still a ways away. So while there's only a few things here, it's likely going to get populated over time. So let's start with the first addition, and I'll start with you on this one, Naz. The ship trespass. What are your thoughts on this? This is them changing how trespass works on ships. For those of you who don't know, it means that if you are not part of a party and you walk onto a ship that is not yours, that person, the people in that ship, can then shoot you and kill you without any consequences. It is castle doctrine in space. So
I honestly thought that this was in several patches ago.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about it like a year ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay, it's finally in. Well, potentially, tentatively in. And there's like a lot, like that's the first step of a lot of like personal ship security type stuff. First,
very American approach to it, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is very,
and I'm not here for it.
It's a simple approach, though. It's a simple approach to the system, which I'm glad that CIG is not trying to reinvent the wheel for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is with a couple of things that were in the news like in the past couple of weeks.
I know.
What would you have them do if not your ship, your law kind of thing?
In UEE space, probably still not murder. Non-lethal force. Like in Pyro, fine, do what the fuck you want. But in UEE, I would still go for what's the word? Incapacitate instead of kill.
I wonder, they could totally tie that into a reputation thing. Whether you kill people on your ship or not. Like, it'll definitely, like, once we actually have servers that don't wipe every patch, give you, a at least spoken reputation of, oh, don't go on his ship, he kills his friends, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, one, to implement that, we kind of need non-lethal things to do.
I mean, yeah,
give me the crossbow, CIG.
That's the thing, is that like this is also there's some implications which we'll talk about here, but this is one of those implications. Do you think this is an implication that we're going to have non-lethal weaponry in 320?
That's a good point.
Because we also have almost certainly
been done for a while.
Yes,
the Volt's been done. The Preacher Taser, the crossbow, the not electron guns, the sniper and pistol we have now. No, the ones we have now.
They're supposed to be able to
have a
setting.
Yubarev,
yeah. The Ubizov.
Yubarev.
They should do Ubrev. Yes. Should all do non-lethal takedowns. There was also a melee weapon that was mentioned. I have no references for that. All I remember is that somebody was
beat stick. It's just a
Yeah.
nightstick, is what it is.
I want the best melee weapon has already been invented, and it was in Saints Row the third.
A giant
and it was
dildo?
Yeah.
A giant floppy dildo. Okay. Yeah.
And in Saints Row the fourth, they replaced it with a tentacle on a stick.
I wouldn't be surprised, because the other thing that's likely to come to 320 is bounty hunting. The new bounty hunting system. If it, that's not confirmed, obviously, and they have no idea, but it's almost as if they're trying to shoot for it with all the updates they've been trying to do. And you're going to need to have non-lethal in caps for bounty hunting. So if that's going to be a thing, then it would make sense to like, this almost feels like they're already doing that for bounty hunting. So just like, why don't we add this little bit while we're focusing on other things? You know, it's like that little attach. So
yeah, the amount of crap that is on the progress tracker that is getting done well before or just as we get ready to like lock down the patch for 320 is quite large.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the pie stuff, hacking. We now know that there's a giant cargo thing going to happen with the whole sea. There's bounty hunting V2.
Yeah.
There's just a ton of stuff being done.
But about the bounty hunting, I think it was just like the B-roll ISC team just being funny. But there was one of the scenes where the guy just froze, and then they cut to him being in the same pose in a holding cell. That kind of makes me think that for bounty hunting, we may get like stasis weapons, so you can shoot someone in the freezing position, and then you can pick them up with the tractor beam and just put them in the cargo bay or whatever.
So this is Destiny now.
Yeah, this is Destiny.
I've never played, so because I hate those kind of gated games. Sorry. I played it for 10 minutes. I went in the wrong direction and said, "This is stupid," because how the hell, I went left instead of right, and now these people are 15 levels higher than me. I hated when games do that, so I just never played it.
Stasis weapons were one of the last giant controversy. Wow, I shouldn't say last controversy. Everything has controversy in that game, but like stasis weapons were the big weapon type added last.
All right, so let's move on to the next part, which is the new missions. This is just kind of a quick one because I don't even know what this is. The consignment missions. I'll read the stuff because this is one's the confusing one. A new mission type where players are tasked with locating critical items in a consignment lists and then safely extracting them. Now, for those of you who don't know what consignment is a system that's often used with pawn shops, where instead of you getting money for something, you give an item to a pawn shop, and then they will sell that item at auction or at the shop, and then you get the proceeds from them or some portions of it.
It means like a batch of goods destined for or delivered to someone. So it's like maybe there'll actually missions for deliveries.
That's the thing. That's what I thought.
With the whole C, for instance, like here is 1,000 SCU of stuff we need to move from one system to another. But
the safely extract is the one that's weird, and it's specific items.
I'm pretty sure, especially with the thumbnail that they put in, it's a hostile delivery mission.
Yes, sort of.
I'm pretty sure it's that simple. It's a delivery mission with bad guys in the way.
It
happens.
But I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's a repo mission. You go into an area and it's an Easter egg hunt. You're supposed to find this chest, these magazines, these 2 apples, and this hat, and you're going to grab that and you're going to take that back to the location and deliver it off.
But now you mentioned repo missions, like I want to steal NPCs' ships because they've been down on payments.
That'd be great.
But by not just like getting an SRV, picking them up and throwing them away. No, sneaking on, hacking in, so it accepts me as the unauthorized operator of the ship and just flying off.
Yeah,
But that's
I
not
mean,
what a consignment is.
none of that has any. That's why it's really confusing because it's like it doesn't really match with my understanding of consignment. It's like I don't know exactly what it is, but apparently it is going to be discussed in a later ISC. So it's going to be elaborated in the future on that. So
Right. And if you want to come back and check out exactly when that was, I have a handy dandy spreadsheet about that.
yes, you do. Where can they find that link, by the way? Because I don't think there's no like real location. I can put it in the description because I have access to it. But is there like a place they can always go to find it?
No, but I will put it on Darjanator.com.
There you go, Darjanator.com, just like it's spelled there. So
Should make an entry for
No,
it
not
on
no,
the
no,
tool.
not like that. There's an A missing.
is there missing?
Yeah.
Where am I
I'm not a
missing?
Darjanator.
Uh,
Shame that it took me this long
oh,
to notice.
there we go.
Yeah.
There you go. No,
Nope.
spell for me, because my brain is mush.
D-A-R-A-J.
Uh-huh.
Wait. D-A-R-J-A-N-A-T-O-R.
ATR. Oh, there we go.
There
Like
you
that.
go.
You've just been spelling it this whole time. Just forever. There we
like
go.
that.
No. It's just today.
Just today? Okay.
Yeah.
My brain has been mush today. So, all right. So the last thing we're going to talk about.
Yes, it's
Which has
spelled
some-
like this. And .com. No.
Yes, like that by the .com. The last thing we're going to talk about is the thing that has the most implications with it. And I'll let Naz start with this one. The whole C is coming out.
Freaking
in 3/20.
finally! So I just recently, this last Wednesday, on stream, did a complete history walkthrough of the development of the whole C. I went and watched and read every article that they've mentioned it, and it's been 7 years since they started work on it.
Okay. Still not the oldest ship in game that's not been out yet, but still, I respect it. I respect.
Yeah. And it wasn't till I read through the monthly report that I realized, they're not just putting this in game and they'll hack in some
It's done. Get it out. We don't
Band-Aid
care more.
to-
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Band-Aid to find a way to get stuff onto it.
Mhm.
They're actually doing a lot of cargo work. They're looking back at the cargo decks and updating those as well to facilitate the hull C.
Which they've done with the whole A. Yeah.
The game is evolving to get the whole C running, which means there are a couple things are absolutely confirmed. Cargo decks are going to be useful for cargo, and we're going to be using bigger boxes when the whole C comes in. So, hopefully, I'm really, really hoping that we get bigger purchasable containers, because they've talked about that a lot during the building of the whole C. Yes, the tech's done for the whole C. That's neither here nor there. They've been working on that for years. That's good, but the gameplay specifically is going to evolve to meet the whole C. And even right now, there are no cargo trips you can take, no cargo runs to make the whole C profitable. There is there's no cargo runs you can complete with the whole C. There is only one commodity that you can buy at a station, but you have to drop it off on the ground. So you can't even do that. Waste and scrap are the only two things you can buy on a station, on any station. And so basically you have to rely on ores and mining. You'd have to factor that in the refinery decks and do stuff like that. But currently that's locked off to the people who dropped off the ore, pick up the ore themselves. So it's neither here nor there. But the cargo decks are going to be used for loading the whole seas, and we're going to have bigger boxes, and we're going to have a giant freaking cargo ship that's going to crash the entire economy. It's great. I love it.
Thing is, the cargo elevators are not going to be able to reach the whole sea, because the whole sea is going to have to dock if it's full of cargo.
Yes.
Yeah, and the cargo elevators are in the hangars.
Yes.
Yes.
Cargo elevators should be coming in, by the way.
That's the thing.
Awesome.
That's the other big thing was cargo elevators. Not only that,
the entire
tractor
cargo,
beams.
Like half the game is cargo,
Yeah.
and we're getting a major update in 320. It is. I imagine it will be the update that I thought was happening when they said the cargo refactor is going in.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, you know. Darsh, your thoughts on the whole sea beyond that? What other things are we missing about the whole sea that impacts the game? That it just the implications, or do you think this is just a CIG going? Yeah, it's done. I'm just tired of making it. We'll just push it out there.
No. If that was the case, we would have gotten it already because it's been done. But and the cargo decks, the animated and dynamic cargo grids have been done for a while now with the Hull A and with the telescoping docking towards the station.
The lewd docking telescoping.
Yes.
It's so lewd. It makes you feel things, tingly things.
Yes, it makes me feel inadequate.
Yeah.
That's been done. But the ship-based cargo, the tractor beams haven't been done, which will probably be needed to load and unload the whole seas because we don't have the SRVs yet. There's gonna have to be a lot more to cargo missions when the Hull C gets in, just because trading is one thing, but Hull C is not. It wasn't made with trading in mind.
No.
Hull C was made with hauling in mind.
Yes.
And that just means like a buttload of basic commodities, not the
not
super
your junk.
profitable stuff.
It's not your stuff.
Yeah. Which is why I thought that is what the consignment stuff was for. Is like there is a station that has 10,000 of stuff that needs to go to another station, and you'll have to take several trips with a Hull C if you wanted to complete that mission. And I hope we get that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's consignment, but I do hope that admission's in there. Yeah. Go ahead, Naz.
The paragraph says, finally, the engineers focused on the new cargo decks and external cargo loading gameplay loop, or game loop, that will be used to support the ships, such as the Mystical Sea. This is the first step in a sequence of planned updates to make cargo gameplay more physical and tangible. Fundamental concepts such as the cargo warehouse and Ank's asynchronous buy and sell orders, not only to support the whole sea, but will be important elements in manual cargo loading within hangars.
Yeah.
So not the only update, but a big step towards the final vision of cargo.
And Minty posted this, which is also in there, with freight elevators, implementation of systems and content for players to physically load and unload cargo to and from their ships by conveying cargo to and from hangars, landing pads, garages, and docking collars. So
on landing pads,
are we getting
the tiny door for the airlock, you have a huge door.
Yeah, the massive ones. Yeah,
that's the cargo elevator.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they added a cargo elevator right next to the docking collars, because there may be those those boom arms for the capital ship docks. There are hangar doors that open up, which I'm sure are 100% designed to be able to just just use a tractor beam, shoot it across the gap and pull it over, kind of like the old resupply ships do, the collier ships do in the Navy, where they have these big lines that they shoot across, or they winch across to larger capital ships in real life,
can you
and move it back and forth.
Station-based huge tractor beams that could just grab several containers at once and just go
and just move it over.
Yeah.
So.
And in the original art for the cargo decks, there were giant hallways, giant hallway in between the warehouse sections.
Yeah,
you could very feasibly fly a small or medium ship through. So it was very obvious that something like a raft could fly in there.
So I will say the other thing that's big is the economy. And we already talked about this. The economy has to be improved for these to happen. So if this is not, and this is a big if, because while I'm pretty confident, I think most of us are pretty confident that CHG is not going to do this, they could still just pull a raft on us and just be like, it's technically done. We don't want our ship designers to keep stuck on this. we'll just kick it out and then move on to the next stage. That could be the case. That's 100%, and that is the pessimist view. I get that, but taken into the context with all of the stuff they've been talking about in the monthly reports, seems to indicate that they are fundamentally pivoting towards this in the same way that they pivoted towards Salvage at the beginning of around this time last year, where like everyone was focused on Salvage and PES. Those are the two things that they cared about. Nothing else really mattered as long as those two things got done. So,
yeah, and like when they talk about gameplay in the monthly report, it kind of is a good shot against that.
Yeah. So when you look at those monthly reports, and so yeah.
And somebody in chat says, "I hope they don't do that. I hope that doesn't have to be on." That's why they shelved it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like until they get like and bizarre gameplay is one of those things that like it doesn't have a need date. There is no time in the game where you need a bazaar. So
I mean, I need it
can
now,
be delayed infinitely.
I mean, I need it now. You speak. You take my bazaar out of your mouth, there, Naz. And I need my bazaar now. All right.
You said bizarre. I heard you say bizarre, like bizarre gameplay.
My bizarre gameplay. Bazaar gameplay, not bizarre.
Yeah. It's a BMM. It's bizarre.
The bizarre merchant man instead of the Banu merchant man.
I want to make sure this is said specifically when there's like 200 people watching. Because I didn't know this for the longest time until I read the Q&A for the Kraken. You don't need to buy the more expensive Peacekeeper, whatever it's called, with the shops on it, because you can buy the cheaper one and upgrade it in game.
Yeah.
So, the base version.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only modular. It's like you dock it and you say, "Hey, I want the privateer." Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You dock and say, "Hey, I want the privateer retrofit," and they'll do the retrofit. And then you can say, "I don't want the privateer retrofit." Dock it, and they'll remove all the stuff.
That's how you're supposed to change up the modules on the new Retaliator as well. You dock it and say, "I don't want a bomber. I want
Hab."
Yeah,
Cargo.
I want a disco. Yeah.
I want a Jared module.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what I think what we're all trying to say is that when the whole C dropped on the 320, all of us at the same time went, "What are you saying, CIG? What are you saying without saying? Why are you saying this? This is because there's some major implications, because this is, I wouldn't say the game, but it's the start of the game in the way that most people who are cargo haulers or merchants want the game to be. In the same way that Salvage and mining kind of got this huge overhaul, and mining recently got that kind of update. I'm sure we'll see the same thing with Salvage, with hole munching, because that's another thing they talked about, which could be coming in 320. We're starting to see cargo actually be fleshed out beyond push button, things spawn, push button again, things despawn, I get money. So,
and also, as we talked about before the recording started, I want Halsey racing.
Yes, we all want Halsey racing.
Because considering how powerful the thrusters on a Halsey are to move and unfreeze my camera, to move all that cargo efficiently, they're gonna be super beefy when the thing is just on its own. Yeah. And there's gonna be like Harold on steroids.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this the kind of podcast section of it. It's much longer than we normally do, but it was, to be fair, it's been a big update. So thank you for joining us. Make sure
the whole season on it. So like it was a long time coming.
Yes. Make sure you check out the NovaForge on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you check out Tree0311 for the Pathfinder podcast. You can find Naz and Tree on there. Make sure you go to jrdf.sc for your models of Star Citizen ships. Help out Darsh there. And of course, Darjanator.com, just like it's spelled there. There we go. Nice. Very nice.
These are just two of the ones I keep on hand. These are instructions for I made.
Oh, nice.
Together.
Do
they have like impossible waterfalls in them?
We have beautiful art by Mr. Hasgaha.
Yes. And some and I can say this, some lore additions by me, because they that's, I'm under NDA with them because that's what they asked me for. It's like, does this lore sound right? I'm like, yeah, it sounds right. They're good. But
Look,
and
it's me. It's me.
there we go. Darjan. Also, Darjanator.com for the spreadsheet, which we'll have it up there, so you can check it out. It's a great resource.
I need to start fleshing that out like even more. So
even more. It's a great resource. I use it recently,
it's open
so.
to comments. Like everybody can view and everybody can comment. So if you have suggestions, like okay, this section needs to be in another category, just let me know.
Yeah, it's right now just a spreadsheet, but it is very good for if you have any, like, oh wait, I remember this thing happening at one point in history. You can just kind of Control F on a category and say, type in Bengal or mining, and it'll just pop up every single time the mining has been mentioned in an ISC. So, not Darjanator, it's
Not Darjanator. No.
Yes.
Here.
Just like that.
.com. Damn it.
Yes.
Going left, wrong. Is my camera mirrored? Oh yeah.
No, it probably is on my end. Thank you again for joining us. We're moving on to the question and answer session. If you're watching this after the fact, you can come join us live, twitch.tv/TheAstroPub, youtube.com/TheAstroPubLive, and watch this full question and answer session, everything. And of course, join us live normally. And I'll put the link for the full VOD right above Darjanator's head. You can click that little link, and you can go to come watch the full context of what we're talking about. But like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.